What's going on YouTube? 0088 here, and this is my review of Black Widow.
I'm done running.
This film's been a long time coming, directed by Kate Shortland, the story written by Jack Schaefer and Ned Benson. Jack Schaefer was the lady that wrote WandaVision, I believe. Yeah, she show-ran WandaVision, and yeah, WandaVision was pretty good, even though she didn't know who Mephisto was. But anyway, Black Widow is what we're talking about right now. Black Widow, I just came back from watching it, it's still fresh in my head, and I thought it was decent. It was pretty good. I thought it was kind of weird how there was so many reviews and so much stuff. I never watched anything, so I didn't want to get spoiled. But there was so much stuff saying Black Widow was going to be kind of, you know, bad, lame, maybe a little bit SJW. There was all these mixed reviews. Some people said, I saw some like comments here and there saying it was going to be kind of good, and then some people were saying it was really bad and it was like Marvel's just gone woke or it was just crap. But none of that's true. Like, it wasn't super amazing, but it wasn't bad either. It was, you know, it's passable. It was way better than Captain Marvel. I enjoyed myself. The action scenes were sick. Scarlett Johansson was good. I loved Florence Poe. Florence Poe? I don't know how to say her name. Florence Poe, I think, the English actress that played Yelena Belova. She was good. Red Guardian was funny. And Rachel Weisz was surprising in this, which I'll go into that a bit later when I go into the spoilers. It started off with this flashback scene of Black Widow as a child and her sister and her family, quote-unquote family, and I don't know if I should, this is the kind of spoilers already, because I think you have to kind of spoil this one to really get into it, and I'm pretty sure you've already seen it if you're going to click on reviews. That's what I do anyway. So I love the beginning scene, the opening scene where you see Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, as a child with her sister and her fake family, with Red Guardian and Rachel Weisz's character. I can't remember their names right now, but yeah, they were like this family. They make you think, if it wasn't for the trailers, they make you believe that this could be her real family. This is her backstory right now. But then, a big twist, it's actually they're undercover agents, but obviously the little girls don't feel like that fully, and they kind of saw them as the real family a little bit. So when it was kind of heartbreaking when they landed back in Russia and they just started, the accents started coming out, and they were just like, yeah, we've got to capture these girls, and they stabbed them in the neck with the injections and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of messed up. You were like, oh man, this is the true Red Room shit now. This is getting into like the backstory of these two girls, that how fucked up their life is from this young as well, you know. And that was really interesting. I loved the darkness of that. They weren't even messing around with that really. And then it went back to modern day, and we saw Black Widow, who's on the run. Like just after Civil War, just like Tony said in Civil War, he's going to come after you.
T'Challa told Ross what you did, so they're coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
Like he said about Ross, and Ross literally is coming after her, and then she has to escape from there. I thought I was going to delve into like some big action scene where she beats up all Ross's agents and stuff, but it was kind of a quick thing. She just got out of there, and then she meets up with this guy who's kind of a like helper and gets her like gadgets and stuff, like her Q sort of thing. This Craig David looking guy, and I was just like, who is this guy? Like, even my girlfriend was asking me like, after the film, like, who was that guy? And I was like, I don't know who he was. I thought he was going to be Taskmaster, because there's all these rumors that he was going to be Taskmaster, but it turns out he wasn't. It's just some guy that helps her out. And yeah, like we'll probably come back to him. And then we get to the part where she gets attacked by Taskmaster, and Taskmaster's like pretty sick. He seems, I'll say he, you know, we'll get into that. I'll say he for now until I get to the point where, you know, what he reveals himself as really. But anyway, Taskmaster comes in, cool character from the comics. We see him in the Avengers game as well. And they've already, I don't know if they had a kind of connection from the game to the movie, but in the game, he's obviously got like a beef with Black Widow. And obviously in the movie, this is one of Black Widow's main villains. I'm not really too well versed on the character. Like, I don't know if in the comics he has really big beef with Black Widow. I know Taskmaster's involved with quite a few characters. I know he's in the Spider-Man game as well. But yeah, Taskmaster comes in and he's badass and he's kicking her ass and he's like really giving her a run for her money, like. And there's some moments in this film where, you know, Black Widow has all these crazy stuff happen to her that she should have died, but she just somehow comes with just a graze on the side of her head. It's getting a bit too fast and furiously ridiculous now. I mean, Marvel's obviously like larger than life and out of this world, but it's just a bit much of how much Black Widow gets hurt. So anyway, she gets blown up in the car and the car goes spinning and she's having this crazy fight and Taskmaster thinks, you know, he's killed her, and then Black Widow actually took the thing that Taskmaster wanted, the little things that turn all the Red Room widows into like normal people again. So Black Widow's got that stuff, she manages to escape with that, and Taskmaster's like thinking, oh, mission accomplished, but nope, she got your stuff, bitch. And it moves on to Natasha meeting the person who sent it to her in the first place, which is her sister, Florence Poe, Yelena Belova, who's her younger sister, and they have this kind of fight scene that doesn't even make sense. Like, they just start fighting each other, and I'm like, what? Why you just fight each other out there? It's cool and everything, but it's just like, what? But yeah, Yelena's character is really cool. I really liked her. You believe that she could do the shit she does. So well casted. Like, she has this tough chick look, and you just believe it, man. They just look good, especially in the white outfits and stuff like that. It's basically just action scenes upon action scenes. Black Widow goes back into Budapest, and they kind of, you know, revisit that, like that famous line they keep bringing up in all the Marvel films between Clint and Black Widow, what happened in Budapest, and somehow they get to this part where they go on an event and they're hiding from Taskmaster, and I'm just thinking, how the hell did you manage to find that event? That exact same event that you were in with Clint years ago. Like, I know that was your plan to try and get there, but that's just, I don't know, it just seems a bit convenient, I guess. Things can happen like that in real life, it's mad, but it's just the way it's funny. We meet Rachel Weisz's character, and she's a lot sillier than the trailers portrayed her out. Like, the trailers kind of made you think she was going to be Taskmaster, and I was rolling my eyes, like, they gender swap Taskmaster, and they're going to make Taskmaster just this character that's her mother, but is not really her mother, and she has a connection, and is going to break her heart, which they did do, but with a different female character. Which turns out to be the main bad guy's daughter, the daughter that Loki was talking about in Avengers.
I got red in my ledger. I'd like to wipe it out.
Can you wipe out that much red? Dreykov's daughter? Sao Paulo? The hospital fire? Barton told me everything.
Dreykov's daughter that she blew up in the hospital fire or whatever, she turns out to be Taskmaster. Now, normally I'd get really upset about gender swaps and stuff like that, but this was kind of well written to me, in my opinion, and I thought it made sense with the plot. Like, yeah, she's nothing like the Taskmaster in the comics as far as I've seen. Like, Taskmaster in the comics has his own personality, he's got his own agenda, and he's a he. But this is Dreykov's daughter, and she's kind of like the Terminator a little bit. She's not under her own control. I don't know if we're going to see her again. It'll be interesting. Maybe in the Thunderbolts, because at the end of the movie, it looks like it was hinting at the Thunderbolts and stuff like that, or the Dark Avengers. Maybe Taskmaster, this new female version, will be part of that if we ever see her again. I don't know what's going to happen to all the widows. There's like a whole bunch of, you know, the widows that Black Widow rescued from the Red Room. They could have been in Endgame. Because we've only just seen it now, when the widows should have showed up in the end of Endgame, like when Doctor Strange opened the portals, but you know, we're not like, that's done now. They would have been like, who are these widows? Oh, is how does Black Widow? And Black Widow herself wouldn't even be there to lead them because she died before that scene in Endgame. But yeah, this movie just did feel a little bit too late. It should have come out before Infinity War and Endgame. That would have been such an amazing lead up to that. Like, could you imagine just seeing her with a blonde wig and a jacket and not knowing, okay, she's going undercover. It's like, okay, cool. And then you just see the beginning of Infinity War where she comes in and you'll be just as hyped to see her as you are Captain America. I mean, you were still hyped to see her, but you'll be even more hyped now if this movie had come before, you know. But yeah, like, I talked about most of the cool scenes, like the coolest scenes that I loved was obviously the bit where she's flying from the plane and she's fighting Taskmaster in the air. That didn't last very long, but the bit where they're sliding on the side of the wall, like the falling debris, that was just sick. And Florence Poe had some really cool fight scenes, and she takes the piss out of the superhero landing and stuff like that. Some funny moments there. And Red Guardian was pretty comedic. Didn't have many cool action scenes though, unfortunately. He was. There was literally one scene where he looked like he was about to fight a Taskmaster, and she even like put the Black Panther claws out and everything, and they cut away, and then you don't kind of see the conclusion to that, and then she's just doing this other stuff. I guess the kind of fly kick she does that looked really CGI, but it looked cool because it was CGI, like the way she just, it might not have been CGI, but it looked like, that didn't look human the way she did it. I guess that's how Black Panther would kick, so maybe that was part of it. But that looked cool, but apart from that, you don't really get to see Red Guardian do much. He threw the shield once and knocked someone off, and that was it really. It kind of turned him into this like comic relief character, bumbling idiot kind of character, and I thought, which is okay, you can do that. You know, like my girlfriend made a good point that how he was in prison, being in prison for that long made him go a bit crazy and a bit mad, like talking about how he fought Captain America in the 80s and things like that. But yeah, so I guess that could make sense, but yeah, it would have been nice to see him in a few more action scenes and stuff like that. And Rachel Weisz's character, she's played it a bit weird, a bit ditzy. She was all like, I don't know, it was a bit, I guess she was trying to act like she was under the influence of the Red Room. It messed her up so much, like living on this farm with these pigs and stuff like that, that she kind of just made, you know, suffocate, and you thought she was going to be the bad guy because she did that. She was making this pig suffocate for ages. It was kind of hard to watch. So you really believed then, okay, she's going to be the Taskmaster. And I guess that's probably what the point of that scene was, to really make you believe, to make one of the good guys do something really hard to watch like that. But yeah, it turned out she was just what she seemed to be, just a mum. And that was a really cool Mission Impossible type trick that Black Widow played with her mask. And I really thought that was Rachel Weisz's character that got me with that one. Yeah, so even me, who thinks I'm like well versed in all this, looking up all the articles and all the news and rumours, I thought the Craig David guy was going to be like a secret swap. He was going to be the Taskmaster, the guy that helps Black Widow with all her gadgets and stuff. Turns out he was just a runner that doesn't do anything except for get her gadgets. We don't know where it comes from. But no, yeah, it was Draco's daughter in the end. Yeah, that got me, that twist. Didn't expect that. It was kind of weird because there's so much action, and then it was just cut to these like scenes, like the scene at the farm, and then the scene where Black Widow is talking to Dracov was just really long, really dragged out, and I just was like, oh man, like this is really long. And then there'll be like just loads of action scenes after those two big scenes, and yeah, that just kind of felt a bit weird, the pacing of it. Because it was like 1 minute we're like, feels like we're still at the start of the story, next minute we're like right near the end, and it's like, the reason it got to the end from the middle, like it feels like it's missing the middle bit, but the middle bit was taken up by these long scenes where they're in the farm and then they're in Dracov's little red room in the sky and stuff, you know, so yeah, the pacing felt a bit off sometimes. And I didn't like the comedy too much. Like, I've always had a thing with Marvel comedy, and I'm obviously gotten used to it at this point. But this one felt jarring because this felt like it could have been a really deep, like dark thriller, like exploring this guy that's obsessed with like grabbing women off the street and turning them into these assassins, and specifically women as well. Why specifically women? I mean, I know they go into it a little bit with how these women were just lost women that were discarded in other countries and stuff like that, from other countries that didn't want their daughters, they just wanted sons or something. And yeah, that's all cool, but I didn't really delve into it too much. You know, this guy's just basically just hamming it up, doing his villain monologue and stuff, but didn't really talk about what drives him, what motivates him to pick the women and stuff like that. The moments where they could have had these deep conversations, they were cracking jokes and stuff, and it just took me out of it. Like, this girl, Florence Poe's character, Yelena, I loved her, she was amazing, but like, you've just been released from this mind control, and you just like, you finally have control of yourself after all these years, like proper control of yourself, and the first thing you want to do is like buy a jacket and just crack jokes and act like everything's all good, and you're catching up with your sister that you haven't seen in years and years and years, and that she thought you were dead or she didn't come back for you, and you're just cracking jokes with each other. It just felt a bit like, I don't know if rushed is the right word, but they were just, They could have been more deeper and darker. Like, if they really wanted to, they could have made this so deep that it could have made you cry, you know. But because of the jokes, because of the lightheartedness of the middle section, and not so much the intense thriller moments and the intensity of seeing the long lost family member again, because those moments weren't there, it kind of made it just seem, oh, they don't really care about them meeting each other, just cracking jokes, so I don't really care, you know, I'm not really that fussed about it. But it's a fun watch, it's fun to watch them banter and stuff like that, but I don't really care, you know, that's what it feels like. But yeah, those are the only criticisms. Other than that, I thought it was a passable movie. I wouldn't say it's as good as Winter Soldier, because that felt like they were really trying to hit you with that. There was jokes in that, but it wasn't as intense, and it didn't feel out of place, because the jokes between Black Widow and Captain America and Winter Soldier felt natural, because they work together in Avengers, and you know, so it felt real. Whereas this, you're with your long lost sister, there's tension. You just had a big fist fight, and now you're cracking jokes with each other and making fun of her jacket and things like, making fun of how many pockets are in her jacket and stuff like that. It's just making fun of her superhero landing and things. I mean, there's room for that, but I thought that was a bit too much. But other than that, I thought it was fine. It was good. I liked, even Taskmaster being gender swapped didn't bother me too much. I thought it made sense within the story and within this universe. Maybe we'll see the more comic accurate Taskmaster after this one, I don't know. Maybe we'll find out she copied his moves or something. But yeah, let's go into like the more nerdy stuff and we'll wrap up the review. I thought the end credit scene with that chick, I can't remember her name, Valentina or something like that, I think her name was. She was in the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier as well, trying to recruit US agent, and now she's recruiting Yelena Believer. What's going to happen here? Is she making the Dark Avengers? Is she making, you know, the Thunderbolts? You guys let me know in the comments below. That would be really interesting to know what's going on there. Apparently she's going to set her off on Hawkeye, which is going to be so stupid because they didn't want anything to do with killing Black Widow, but she's gonna see it as that, and she's gonna be like, "You tried to kill my sister," and he's gonna be like, "No, I didn't." And then she's not gonna get to finish his sentence. They're not gonna get to talk it out for whatever reason. So she's gonna just be fighting her. He's gonna be fighting him, and she's gonna be fighting him, and then like 6 episodes in, last episode, "Oh, you didn't really try to kill my sister. Oh, I'm sorry." It's just kind of silly, but you know, maybe they'll brush past that very quickly in the Hawkeye, or whether Yelena shows up. Is Black Widow a super soldier? Because she gets blown up by that car. In that car, she lands, falls on all these pipes, and just gets up like it's nothing. That was just too much for me. That was on par with in Fast and Furious 7 when Dom stomped his foot and he broke the whole flipping, you know, building down. And I was like, what the hell? This chick is a super soldier, man. I was like, why the hell is she so... She gets knocked everywhere. She gets smacked in the face by Ray Winston's big fat fist, and there's not a drop of blood or anything on her face and all this kind of stuff. It's just like, what? Yeah, so this film had loads of cool action scenes, but Black Widow was just doing too much. Like, she's as powerful as Captain America at this point. It's crazy. But yeah, yeah, I was hoping maybe we could see some Iron Man in this chasing her because it's the Civil War. I was hoping we'd see like Ross turn into Red Hulk. Okay, we're never going to see that, but yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with what we got. It'll be interesting to see how I feel about this movie maybe a year or two down the line. But yeah, anyway, I think I should wrap this review up. That's my review of Black Widow. It was decent. I enjoyed it. I would give it like a 6.57 out of 10. It was passable, it worked. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, if you enjoyed my review, please leave me a like. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit the notification bell for notifications, and I'll see you again. Peace.